Good day, gentlemen. James Marshall here. In today's video, we're going to be doing another infield pickup analysis. I'm dealing with a situation with this lady who is a high-powered real estate developer where she has a complicated situation in her relationship, which is a thing that you'll come across from time to time. So let's get into that. Hello, you look super cool today.
Thank you.
Can I walk with you for one moment? I'm not selling anything.
Okay.
Yeah, what's your name? All right, so this all happens very fast, but essentially what I'm doing is kind of second by second adjusting to the needs of this situation. And you may kind of miss it the first time you watch it because it just looks like I run up and I go say, hey, what's your name? But what happens is if you slow it down into slow motion, I run up, I motion for her to take off her headphones, which she then does. I tell her that she looks cool and I see that she's not stopping. All right, so she takes a step as she's facing me and engaging with me. And so I make that split-second decision not to try and get in front and to stop her, but to ask immediately if I can join her because she's going somewhere. And my feeling, my intuition is that I'm not going to be able to stop her in that moment. So I instantly transition from my brief compliment opener to asking if I can walk with her. And because it happens so rapidly, I then throw in the pre-frame of I'm not selling anything, which is a kind of classic day game pre-frame. Classic because it works. Most of the time I use that one in a situation where you're in a busy area where people are touting things, selling stuff and trying to convert you to religions and so on. But in this moment, I just quickly throw out my pre-frame to diffuse any of her sense of like what the hell's going on, and then I move immediately into introducing myself. So this all happens in 3 to 5 seconds. But this is the point of advanced day game is that you'll often see in comments guys arguing about, I should always stop the girl or never stop the girl or never give her a compliment or always give her a compliment or whatever. And the answer to that question, which is not a question, but the conclusion on that is that there is no one thing that you do every single time. You need to have a variety of tools in your toolkit. And if you're good at this, you need to be able to adapt and shift within microseconds on the fly to pull out what tool is most appropriate for the job. And I think this was the right tools for the job. How do you do them, James? Nice to meet you. Are you dressed up for something specifically, or are you just a very colourful person?
Yes, I'm very colorful. This week I always use blue.
Oh, it's Blue Week, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Does your you match it with your mood or something, or you're just experimenting?
Sometimes different. I just thought this day I will use blue, and yesterday I used two.
And what mood is blue for you?
I really like blue and the colors pink and green.
You going this way?
No, I will go.
Okay, I'll walk with you one more block. Yeah. So, what's the conversation topic? The colour blue. Now, you may think, what are you doing? What are you talking to a girl about blue and what mood blue is? I'm bouncing off the situation. Now, you can't really, you can tell a little bit from behind, but she's wearing tight blue slacks and then this kind of blue half-top thing that frills out. It's a look, it's a vibe, right? She's clearly put together a blue outfit as opposed to a girl that's wearing jeans and a T-shirt. And so I just comment on that is she dressed up for something? Because she does look dressed up. Now, she says that she likes blue, and now we're getting into this conversation. Now, people might be going, what's your favourite colour? Like that used to be a cliche joke of back when I was in my 20s and we were talking with my mates and going, what do you talk to girls about? I don't even know. Like, what do you say? What's your favourite colour? Because we had no clue about what you're supposed to talk to girls about. And it turns out, yes, talk to them about what their favourite colour is. But instead of this could have gone really badly because if I then said, oh, where did you get the pants from? Or, how long did it take you to get ready or something like that, which is some boring detail, I shift from a fact or an observation to a feeling, right? So do you dress by mood is the question that I'm asking because often women do. Right? If a girl's wearing a red dress and red and black Louboutins, she's putting out a statement. She's the girl in the red dress. Someone who's wearing all black is projecting something, like I did for the first 25 years of my life, that I'm cool and depressed and complicated. So anyway, I'm shifting from what I'm noticing about her to trying to find out something about her as a person. Then I notice that, okay, logistically what's happening, we get to a street corner and I'm not sure which way she's going, so I check in, are you going this way? She's going that way. And so, again, I've asked her if I could walk with her earlier, but now just again to diffuse the issue that a woman would have with a man just randomly following her indefinitely, then I let her know that there's a time constraint. Okay, I'll just walk with you for another block. So I've just bought her and I some more time.
Okay.
Yeah. So what do you want to know? You can ask me anything.
Sorry?
You can ask me anything. I'll be very honest.
Yeah. I have a question.
Start with something simple.
Where are you from?
Right, we moved on from the colour blue. There's been a transition because of this disruption of like, where are we going? Okay, I'll walk with you. And then I make a decision, which is not something that I recommend that you do a lot, because I know I do this sometimes in videos, and sometimes when I've got guys on workshops, they go up to the girl and say, hey, what's your name? So what do you want to know about me? And it doesn't really work, because if you're going to ask a girl to ask you a question or what do you want to know about me, then there needs to be some kind of investment on her side. She needs to be interested, right? Because otherwise, if you go up to a stranger and say, what do you want to know about me? The stranger's like, nothing, because I don't know you and I don't care. So this is probably a bit early to do this, and it's not something I recommend all the time, but I make a decision and I stick to it. Now, I say, what do you want to know about me? And then I just let it sit, because we're walking along. So I let the pressure build, because now it's over to her. I'm basically challenging her to contribute to the conversation. The main reason I did this was that I feel like this is a real woman, right? Like she's not a 20-year-old college kid. She's, clearly in her 30s, and she's a real lady, so she can have an opinion. She can ask. She knows how to do conversations, I assume. So what do you want to know? And then as the pressure builds, she's then like, I'm not sure. I don't have a question, right? And I don't let her off the hook. But I make the hoop smaller to jump through. I'll start with something simple. So then I guide her to contribute to the conversation. And she defaults to, where are you from? Of course, because girls often aren't any better at this than we are. But I'm going to be kind, and I'll work with what I got. I'm Australian.
Australian?
Yes. I live here most of the time.
What?
I live in Budapest most of the time. I'm not a tourist.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been living here on and off for maybe eight years. Yeah. So I give her some basic facts about me. Why am I telling her that I've lived here for some period of time and I'm not a tourist? That's very specific to being a foreigner in a foreign land approaching girls. Because if you're a random tourist, sex tourist, wandering through Eastern Europe, and you're chatting to girls and they're like, how long are you here for? You're like, I'm here for 26 more hours and I've got to get laid. I'm like a praying mantis who's got 26 hours to breed before before I die, or a botfly or something. That's a thing. Now, it's not necessarily that that's going to be a terrible thing, because sometimes girls are just looking for a random hookup with a marauding stranger who's coming through town and there's no consequences. But again, my intuition here is this is a lady, this is a real woman, so I'm letting her know, I actually live here. So why is that? Because then if she starts thinking about whether she's interested in me or not, then she can go, okay, there's a prospect of this could be a guy in my life or a lover, or it's not just going to be a one-night stand. So that's why I'm giving her that kind of logistical information. Yeah, I like it. It's central, it's fun. People are generally pretty nice. You think?
Yeah. And I have a company.
Yeah.
Real estate company.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're the boss? I've given her a bunch of information about myself and a little bit about what I think about the city, and she's like, okay, well, I'm in real estate. And she kind of doesn't really respond to it, but she's now playing the like, okay, we're telling each other what's going on in our lives. And again, we're, I don't know, a couple of minutes in, and I'm getting a sense of a read of who this person is, right? Now she reveals that she's a real estate developer, and that I ask her then if she's the boss, right, to put that into some kind of context, and also because then I know that I'll talk about what type of boss she is or what type of employee she is. If I'm talking about work, those are standard things that I'm going to look into, like the way she is at work as opposed to the details of her work. But yes, what we're doing now is handing over our basic resumes as adults do when they're dating, I've heard.
Yes, this is the own company, So I work alone.
Okay.
And they show the flat in Infield.
Yeah. Sorry.
I have some work and go home and you finish, yeah.
Right. I have friends in real estate in Budapest, and they say the market is not very good at the moment. Like, it's difficult to sell apartments.
Right now, this year is pretty hard.
Yeah.
A lot of change.
Is that because there's not so many Russians and Chinese buying?
The last
She starts to explain her real estate business, Now, believe it or not, I know a little bit about the real estate industry in Budapest, Hungary, because I've been involved in that for some years, and I have a close friend who's a real estate developer, and I know about roughly what's going on there. Now, this happens where this is her job, right? So she's explaining, she does this for a living. Sometimes when a guy's talking to a lady and she tells that she's into something and that guy's heard a bit about that, right? She says she's a yoga teacher and he's like, oh yeah, I did an online yoga course once, and there's the asanas, right? And then poses and pranayama, that's where you breathe in out and breathe out that, right? Right? That's the yoga. Now this girl thinks I'm a douche because I'm trying to tell her about the thing that she's a specialist in and me saying the few things that I learn about it on Instagram. So you need to be careful about that kind of things. But in this situation, what I've done is I've let her explain her stuff about real estate, and then I've posed it as a question. I've heard that the real estate industry is down, and then knowing what my friend has said is because the Chinese and the Russians aren't there anymore because they shouldn't be. And so it's harder to sell apartments. That's a thing I know. Amazing, cool facts, cool story, bro. But then I just pose it to her as a question so she can then explain it to me, right? Because if I'd said straight away, oh yeah, so the industry's down 9% this year. Yeah, I know about the Budapest real estate market. Then I would have come across as try hard and douchey. But because I'm showing, I'm interested and I know a little bit about this. Can you confirm? Can you explain it as the specialist? Okay, now it's working.
Last year, having a lot of Russian people, and they are want a lot of properties, but now it's more hard. But I'm working with some hotels, and in all Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So really interesting.
What do you mean you work with hotels?
I for sale.
You're selling hotels?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right, so you're doing big deals.
Yeah.
Are you?
I trying, because sometimes it's really hard. And everything is different, when they're coming the investors and sometimes they are one.
Difficult to deal with?
Yeah, lot of things. And that's why I work alone. It's more hard, but it's okay. And work with another company.
It's cool to be independent, right? To be able to build something by yourself, because then you feel very proud of your achievements. Now I get into some qualifying. So she's explaining more about her real estate business, and she says something about hotels, and I don't just go, oh, wow, that's amazing. I say, what do you mean? What do you mean dealing with hotels? And she's like, well, I'm selling them. And then I qualify her. Now, I don't gush and go, that's so amazing. And it's kind of cool, right? Selling hotels, I guess. I don't know. But I'm like, oh, okay, you're doing big deals, right? So this is your kind of foundational qualifying framework. You ask the question, she invests, you challenge her on it or get her to tell you more about it. And then when she's invested or she's shown that she's got something interesting about her, then you reward her. Right, then she goes on to explaining a bit more about the difficulty of dealing with, I guess, high-end clients because they want what they want. And then I'm validating her on her choice. She says she works alone. It's difficult, but she's making it work. It's awesome to do something independent, to be able to be your own boss, which it is. And as someone who is that, I know that it is extremely challenging, but it's definitely worth it because then you don't have to do what other people tell you. Are you a good negotiator?
What?
Are you a good negotiator?
Oh,
Good at doing deals?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know when to flatter and when to push?
Every time is different. I don't want to push nobody. But yes, I try. I have some good flats right now. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to sell.
All right, cool. As I'm listening to what she's saying, I'm aware that this could get lost into lots of technical details about the market and about selling hotels and what goes on in that, which would be kind of an interesting conversation, but that would be a man-to-man conversation, right? If I met a dude and found out that he was selling hotels and I was talking to him, I wouldn't probably be asking him about how he felt about that. I'd be saying, oh, what's that business like? What do you do? How does it work? I'd be finding stuff out. And that's the trap that a lot of men do when they're trying to do seductive conversations with women, is that they default to what they know, which is trading facts and information and advice, which is what men tend to do between each other. No, so I'm thinking, all right, what does this involve? Okay, she's doing big deals. There's negotiation involved. Let's talk to her about that. So I ask her, is she a good negotiator? And then I add more information so you know when to flatter, you know when to push. And then she starts to explain her negotiation style. Again, what I'm going is going from a fact or a job, and I'm moving into the feelings that she has or the way that she operates, because this is how I'm learning about her as a person, and this is how she's going to perceive being seen and heard, as opposed to rattling off, details about your resume, which is often what people do on dates. Well, you seem quite interesting. I like your style. Would you like to get a drink sometime when you're not busy?
I don't want to tell you this. I have a little bit hard situation.
Watching this back now, I think that I probably should have stayed in another 3 to 5 minutes. I guess I was stopping because we reached the end of that street and there is a metro down there, so she was probably going to go down the metro. But anyway, I called it there. So I'm like, all right, well, you seem really interesting, which is a common thing that I'll do at the end of an interaction, is tell a girl one reason why I want to see her again. Right? Because if I just have a short interaction and go, all right, cool, well, you've got to go. Can I have your number and take you out? It's a bit abrupt, doesn't really make that much sense. As opposed to, I'm just letting her know, you seem cool, you've got a good vibe, you're interesting. I like your attitude. That's the reason why I want to see you again. Obviously, I've told her that that I find her attractive, and that's implied anyway because it's a direct approach. There's no excuse for me being there. The reason I'm there is because I saw her and turned up and had a chat with her. So she knows why. And then if I tell her one thing about why I would like to see her again, it makes more sense on her side, right? As opposed to what's the story she receives if I just go, anyway, you got to go. Can I take you out? What's your number? Is I'm a guy talking to a girl. Yeah, you said some stuff. I'm just trying to get on a date, right? It comes across as kind of impersonal and that you're not interested in her as a human. You're just like, there's a woman with long hair and a shape. Let's see if I can have sex with her. No, I want to let her know that, okay, I found her uniquely appealing in some kind of way. And it can be as simple as that. You seem really interesting. And then I ask her out. Now, as soon as I ask her out, she goes, well, I don't want to tell you my whole life story, but there's a complicated thing. I already know what's going on. All right, I already know what she's about to say because I've had experience with this. Do you know what she's about to say? She's like, got a complicated situation. I'm on the run for the law. I just had a sex change. I'm actually a man. No, it was none of that. What's she got to say? A situationship?
Yeah, it's difficult in my life. And
Say again?
Difficult my life.
It's a difficult part of your personal life?
Yes.
Right.
Very difficult.
Are you going through a divorce or something? Or?
Yes.
How good am I? I guessed exactly what's going on. Why? It's kind of obvious when you put the pieces together. So she's saying, I've got a difficult situation. Now, I can see she's in her 30s. She's an established businesswoman. If it was a girl who was, 22 and saying, oh, yeah, I got some crazy shit going on. It could be drug addiction. It could be problems at home or whatever, violent boyfriend or something like that. But this situation, I'm like, okay, this girl's got her life together. So what could it be that's going wrong right now? And so I'm checking in. You're going through a difficult personal time in your personal life, as opposed to if it was a business thing, she might explain that. I'm going bankrupt and I've got to spend all my time saving my business. Yeah, she's like, yes, very. All right, what's that? She's going through a divorce. So I say, you're going through a divorce right now. Now, is it cool that you're able to guess these kinds of things? Yes, in the like, wow, I got it. But that's not so important. What's important is that I'm moment by moment reading what's going on for the woman. I'm adjusting and shifting. I'm actually paying proper attention. So as a result, I'm going to be able to guess certain things and I'm going to be able to intuit certain things, which is, cool. It's not like she was like, whoa, he guessed divorce, he gets sex. It's more that she's like, okay, this guy's with me and he's like personally engaging with my life and my situation. And I already know what the objection's going to be, because someone who's just going through a divorce right now, okay, that's a complicated emotional and financial and logistical headache. There's a whole bunch of mess going on. And so her focus is not on romance or dating right now. It's ending this thing, doing the legal stuff and dividing the properties or whatever she's got to do, and then recovering and going, all right, I'm a single woman now. What am I doing with my life? So my intuition here is, okay, I already know what her objection is, and I already know what I'm going to do in order to handle the objection. So let's find out what that is. Okay. Yeah, that's tough.
Yes, it's almost ready. You know,
Mm-hmm.
this is start 3 years ago, and this the next month it will be finished.
Right.
My lawyer
Thinks it will be finished.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
cool.
yes, and I think might look like a younger woman, but I'm not 20 years old.
Neither am I. Neither am I.
Yeah, it's okay. Just
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
33.
Yeah, I'm 45, so, Matt, we both look younger, I think, than we are. Do we? Do I look younger than I said? I don't know. But anyway, so she's saying, okay, complications, divorce, and just so you know, I look younger than I am. I mean, she looked very young. She was very pretty, but it's like she's like, I look younger than I am. I'm not a 20-year-old girl anymore. So I'm not just randomly doing random dates with random young men on the street. And very rarely would I ask a girl her age, right? Because a lot of, especially if she's I don't know, late 20s or 30s, women can be thingy about their age. But because she's brought it up and she's kind of trying to say that she's disqualifying herself on being older, well, it turns out I know that I'm older than her. So that's where I go, all right, I hope you don't mind me asking, which is a polite way to ask a woman her age. And she's like 33. And I'm like, oh, cool. Well, finally my being an old man is to my advantage. I'm 45, so that's all cool, right? We're all adults here. Okay, well, I understand it's a complicated part of your life.
Yeah.
And you probably want to break a rest from men or something like that.
Oh, yeah, and yeah, it's more complicated.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm actually going away to Portugal for a few weeks. How about I get your number when I come back and you've settled things, then we can meet for a cup of tea and see how things go. And this is the thing that I knew that I was going to do, which is how to handle this objection, because I know that if I try and push this right now, it's not going to work. If I'm like, yeah, whatever, divorce and you're 33 and so on, I want to take you out. Or if I'm like, oh, you need to let off some steam and relax after your divorce. I mean, could that have worked? Maybe. But I know what's most likely to work here is that I know I'm not really in competition with other men at this point in her life, probably. And she's like, okay, finishing up mess, no men for a bit so I can get my shit together and move on with my life. So my proposal here is to work around that and to show her, I understand that you're going through a difficult situation and you probably want to break from men. Right? This is very much going on to the other side of the trench, right? So I'm on her side and I get it. Yeah, it makes sense. I've been through breakups before where you're fucking miserable or it's complicated and the last thing you want to do is have soulless sex with lots and lots of hot girls. Anyway, I've heard that when people break up, sometimes they want to have a break. So there's my proposal. All right, I'm going away for a couple of weeks. True. When I come back, how about I text you and we can meet for a cup of tea? So this is a low pressure thing and see how things go. So it's then 3 weeks from now or whatever when I come back, she's signed the things, shaken the hands or told the fuck yous and they've done the deal. And then she's like 3 weeks later, text, hey, it's that guy that was charming and figured and was intuitive and wasn't pushy but was leading things and he wants to do that cup of tea. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea because I could do with some nice masculine energy and what's the harm in going for a cup of tea?
Maybe I can give you my number, but do you have Instagram?
I do, but that's for kids. Mm-hmm. I won't blow up your phone. I will text you once when I come back. I'm not the kind of guy that's going to hassle a woman. So if you want to meet, good. If not, I respect your decision. Okay, cool. She's giving the soft yes, I can give you my number, but how about Instagram? And immediately I just shut that down. Nah, that's for kids. Now, I don't always do this. Certainly I do take Instagrams off women when they're particularly shy or they're not sure. They're like, oh, I don't want to do the number. And you're like, well, how about Instagram? Like, yeah, I could do that. So it's a softer close and it's obviously got a higher flake rate, but certainly it can still work. It's a messaging app. So there's nothing wrong with getting a girl's Instagram. But in this situation, we had a solid conversation. She's an adult. I'm an adult. She's mature. She's like, oh, but maybe this. I'm like, nah, lady. Let's do it properly. I'll get your number. But then I explain a little bit about this, which is that I'm not going to blow up her phone because why would she not want to give me the number? Because maybe she's still dealing with the ex-husband and then, there's 40 missed calls from me and the dude's like, who's that? And then it causes drama in her life. Or she just like wants some alone time to eat, love, pray and, have some facials and figure out. That all sounded sexual. Maybe she just wants some time alone and she doesn't want me hassling her, right? So there, I let her know. I'm not the kind of guy that's going to hassle a lady. I'll text you once. If you want to meet, cool. If not, no problem. I respect that, right? So this is me angling for a proper and better close than just getting this softer close with the Instagram and explaining that I get her situation and I'm not going to cause her hassle. So this all makes it easy for her to say yes. So it was right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember my name?
James.
Very good. Very good. I think WhatsApp is easiest if you put your WhatsApp number.
Yeah.
Okay, I will send you a text.
Oh, maybe. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, this is mobile. Okay. Mobile. It's good. Maybe.
I'll put +36, right?
Oh, maybe yes. It's...
+36. That looks right to you? Oh, not quite.
And do you live here alone?
This is all good signs, right? I hand her the phone. This is the most boring part of my infields, right? Where I hand her the phone and then she's putting the number in. But it's an important moment. So many times when guys do this, they're releasing the pressure on it. They're like talking about the phone. Oh, WhatsApp's new. I haven't done that for a while, and kind of just releasing pressure and rabbiting on, which is totally unnecessary. Just let the tension sit. I'm not staring directly at her. I'm just looking past her. And when she hands me the phone, I check it. Now, it turns out that she'd made a mistake. Now, this is a pretty good sign, right? She leans in cutely, checks it and goes, oh, okay, you got to add the thing. And then I double check it. She's like, oh, no, she messed it up. So the fact that she's going through and actually getting the correct number is a good sign, because it means that she's either giving me a real number or she's doing some 4D chess to fake that she put in the right number and didn't, which I don't think she's doing.
And do you live here alone?
Do I live alone?
You live alone here?
Yeah. You mean, is there anyone living in my apartment or what?
Just in Budapest.
I have my team here. I work with a team here. Yeah, but I have an apartment just on Ferenciak Town.
It's good place.
Now, as she's putting her number in or checking it, she says, do you live here alone? Which if I asked a woman, do you live here alone, would be bad. But when a woman says it to a man, it's a good thing. Now, I don't really know what she means by that exactly. So I'm like, are you saying, what are you getting at? I do live alone, actually, except when I'm with you. So I'm like, yeah, what do you mean? Does somebody live in my apartment? But what she's finding out logistics. She's like, okay, what's going on with this man? So then and it could also be like, are you just here? Do you just live in Budapest and you don't know anybody or anything like that? So I let her know. I got a team here, and then my apartment's down the road because we're literally 100, 200 meters from my place. Point in the direction. Okay, for whatever reason that seems to satisfy her. I guess she's figuring out logistics and what's my living situation. Maybe it's to do with housemates. I haven't found there being any problem living with housemates, especially with younger women. But maybe a woman who's 33 and established, that matters to her. I don't know. But anyway, it's good signs that she's trying to figure out how many beds are in my house.
It's a good place. I lived there. Just I was in the USA the last year.
You were living in the USA?
I was there three months, and sometimes I go back.
I see.
Yeah, and before I lived here. I really like. This is my favorite.
Yeah, it's a very good spot.
Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah.
It's lovely to meet you. I hope to see you again soon, and I hope everything resolves and you can deal with the mess and move on with your life.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, bye.
Bye.
She's qualifying herself a little bit there because this is a kind of a fancy part of Budapest, and she's like, oh, I used to live down there too. This is a nice part of town. Okay, cool. Maybe that's status-related stuff. Fine. Or it's just her kind of chit-chatting at the end. And then I decide, okay, cool. Lovely to meet you. And then I refer back to this whole situation, right? Showing some empathy, showing some care, showing that I got what she was saying, that it wasn't all about me and my desire. It's like, okay, I hope you resolve all this and you can clean up all the mess and then you can move on with your life, right? And it's sincere because I do. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I feel like that? But overall, it shows that, yeah, this is the kind of man that would make sense for her to have some kind of transitional relationship with. Now, I'm definitely not the next husband. That wouldn't be my role. But when a woman's going through her cycle of relationships in her life, which she's going to go through her comparative version to us, she has a boyfriend, and then she's single, and then she gets married, and then she has a divorce, or she has a fling, and so on. And coming out of those points, she'll be looking for different types of men to fill certain roles in her life. A woman coming out of a relationship, what makes sense to her with men? Well, firstly, it may be like this woman, that she needs a break, that she wants to heal, or just, not deal with the drama of men in general. Or that it makes sense, maybe after that period, to have a random hookup to just kind of get over the guy. But more appealing than that is a guy that she can have some kind of relationship with that's not full on, where there's not monogamy and everyone's emotions and obligations to each other getting entangled and it becomes a whole big thing. But having a guy that's chill, that's not going to try and wife her immediately or lock her down, but that could be a good lover and a good friend, that's an awesome archetype for her to experience during that transitional period. Right? So be aware of this. You're going to come across women that are going through different periods in their relationship life. You might meet a girl who's been single for 3 years and all she really wants is a boyfriend, and so trying to be her discreet lover or part-time lover is not going to work for her, because that's not what she's looking for right now. But from the information we have of this woman, from the 6 or 7 minutes I spent with her, I know what archetype's probably going to be beneficial for her, and that's what I presented to her. So there you have it, gentlemen. Another Infield breakdown. I hope you enjoyed that. If you'd like to learn how to do this yourself, then you should come and join me for one of my upcoming workshops. They are selling out very fast. I have one spot left. That's right, just one spot left on the Lisbon workshop from the 20th until the 26th of July, with myself, Virag, Gareth Jones, and a special guest coach, run the streets of Lisbon, which is awesome. Packed full of tourists, locals, Brazilians, Angolans, Mozambicans. It's a very vibrant, walkable, and saucy, flirty city. So you can get this area of your life sorted this year, this summer, or you can continue to just watch random pickup content from time to time for entertainment value, which I hope that I have entertained a little bit, but there are more entertaining things on the internet if that's what you want. Get this shit sorted, learn it, and then move on with your life. I'm the man that can help you do that. I also have one more workshop, literally only one more for the year, coming up in August in Budapest, so you can talk to us about that if the July dates don't work for you. And after that, I'm going on a holiday with my mum, and then going to meet the Hopi Indians with my dad, and then probably going to the jungle. So I'll be off from the coaching season. So you have been warned. These are some of your last warnings to join me for this year. If you want to talk to us, click the link in the description, get on a free call, have a chat about your situation. We'll explain everything about the workshops and how we can help you. And we hope to get your dating life sorted so you can get lovers, girlfriends, and a wife and an ex-wife one day. And then move on to the other important areas of your life. This has been James Marshall. I hope you enjoyed today's video. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.